Hey there beauties, it's Judy from Judy D Beauty, your Canadian beauty blogger, and I share my expertise on makeup, skincare, beauty, and lifestyle for us women who are 50 and better. And I do say better because I just had my 60th birthday, and I tap into my 40 plus years in the beauty industry. So that being said, I have a question. Do you want to get rid of your under eye circles and bags? Well, I do, and stick around because I'm going to show you how. The first thing I want to tell you is that the deepest part and the darkest part is usually right in here. There's usually a furrow, and that furrow is the shadow from where the bag starts. And so that's a bit raised, and so the skin gets very, very thin here, and that is because we've lost a lot of the fat here, and it's traveled down here. So that's just a fact of life. So what we have to do is counteract that blue, and that blue goes right up in here. So we also are going to cover in here, and we're going to really focus and concentrate our efforts in this area right here. So we want to have a color that's going to be quite opaque. We want it quite thick and quite creamy. So I haven't done anything foundation-wise over here. I'm going to start with that though. There's two schools of thought. Some people like to put their concealer first and then go ahead and use their foundation, but I like to put my foundation first, so then I get some coverage, and then I can go with as little product as possible. So for myself, I find that at least you have some coverage from your foundation, and then you need to use the minimal amount of concealer. So this side just has my moisturizer and a bit of primer for my under eye area. And I'll list the products that I've used for you. So there, I've done my foundation, and I have a little 5 times and 10 times magnifying mirror here because honestly I couldn't do my makeup without it. So I can see a little bit in the screen here, and that's why I tend to be looking almost away from you, but I can see here. But when I really have to do close-up work, I need my 10 times magnifying mirror. If you don't have one, honestly, it's the best investment you can get. So okay, so here's my foundation done, and it's blended out just to match the rest of the foundation that I've done. So now I'm going to go in with what you need is a color that's a little bit peachy and a little bit almost not orangey, but I will say a peachy tone to cut that blue. So if you go too light of a color, you're going to get that what they call a raccoon eye. And if you go with something yellow, you know, yellow and blue make green, so that's just going to turn out to be a fairly weird color. So you don't want that, but you want it to be deep enough and dark enough to color what you need it to cover. And there we are. And you can brighten up the area with a highlighter, but definitely your main objective is to cover. So, and then you notice how gently I'm going, because the skin underneath your eye is at least 5 times thinner than the skin on the rest of your face, and that really starts to show the first signs of aging, where we get the crepiness or the little fine lines over here. But it also, if you pull across, you are going to really damage that skin. So I'm just doing a fine little pat. When you pat that with a patting motion, and you notice it's with my ring finger, or even if I use one of my other fingers, it's just, you have to go very gently. So I'm going right up underneath my eyelashes here, but I like to apply it with a brush to get right up in there. There we go. Okay, so you can still see a shadow. I mean, we'll never get rid of a shadow completely, But we can go in with a little bit of a lighter color if we like, just to lighten it up a touch. And then also to give your eye a little bit more of a lift, I usually put a lighter color just in this area here. Because sometimes you'll see with professional sets, you'll see a concealer. Sometimes you'll only get one, but with the professional colors, they usually come in two. So you put a little bit of a highlighter here, or a lighter concealer there, and then it gives your eye just that little bit of a lifting illusion, which we like everything to go up. And then I'm just going to pat that in as well. So remember, we want something, especially for in that bluish area, we like it to be sort of a peachy or a corally color in there as well. Because if you look on the color wheel, the opposite of blue is red, and it's sort of with that color wheel in mind. So there we are. And I'm just gonna set it with a powder, even though, especially even if you have dry skin, you don't want to put too much powder on, but you do want to put a little bit, and you're not putting a ton, you're just sort of placing it underneath. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of a placement. And if you find you've put a little bit too much powder, you can always go over with a clean brush and wisp off any excess. So that's that. And if you find you want to put a little bit more on, you always can, but you can kind of see the difference. Whereas this, you still have that big blue streak, and this one, it's a lot less. There is a bit of a highlighter. Now there's two different kinds of highlighter. This is a natural color, coming up right here, and I'll just show you, like here, there's something that's really quite light, and you can put it over in here if you like for a natural, sort of a matte natural highlight. And just gently, and that helps sort of almost with a contour type of a thing. And if you want to go with a little bit, something that would be maybe a little more sparkly, I'll show you. Now, if you have a drier skin, you want to go with something creamy. I've got a creamy one right here. And that one, what you would do is, you could do it right in here. Just a little bit here like that. And that'll help as well. There we are. And then if your skin isn't so dry, what you can do is just put, like I've got a little, there's a Smashbox, for example, there's a blush where you get a couple of blushes and then a little powder highlighter. You can just do that even on top. I'll do it on top, but you can do it instead of. And then the highlighter can also go, while we're at it, once I get started, you can also put it underneath here, and then down the center, and then on the Cupid's bow. But you can see I haven't done this. You can see the difference where this side there's nothing, and this side is brightened and highlighted. So hopefully that'll help you. Now listen, I want to hear some comments. I want to hear what your favorite little trick is. If you have a favorite concealer, if you have a little tip that you'd like to share with us, or if you have a question, if you'd like to see something, let me know. And subscribe to my channel. If you click on the little bell, there's a little bell thing there, you will be notified when a new one comes up. So that would be awesome. I would love for us to start a little community going. I would love for us to share, and that would be awesome.